Ashe. Oh,
My name is Dr. Bazi, and I'll be the service coordinator for today. And we'll say is the community of the way. The way is Maat. Maat is truth, justice, righteousness, levelness, balance, harmony, calm, reciprocity. We believe the teachings of our elders and our ancestors that the Creator God created the universe and all life in it, and that the Creator imparted a spark of the divine, of its divine essence into us, giving us the ability and the right and the responsibility to establish peace and justice on this planet. And so we study the teachings of our ancestors. And these teachings teach us about this notion of Ma'at. Ma'at is the way. The way is Ma'at. And it's so nice to be back in the house, Savannah and Ra. Seeing a lot of familiar faces and a lot of new faces, and that is always welcome. We always welcome new people to come, join, and fellowship with us. We're going to be moving on to the historical tribute, which is always a favorite part of the service for me. All the years that I've been a member of the Wosei community, the historical tribute has been one of my favorite parts of the service because we learn so much without having to do a whole bunch of research ourselves.
That's right.
You know, people come in, they've done the research for us, and they share.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. And this morning, the historical tribute is going to be brought to us by Minister Makalisi Ososawande. And Minister Makalisi always has some very interesting and new and insightful kind of historical tributes. Brings us, there's so many of the presenters, brings us information that, we just not aware of. I mean, we can't read and study everything. And so this is where these historical tributes really come in and fit very nicely. And so, Minister Makalisi, I hope that you're ready, because I'm going to be throwing it to you for you to come and to share with the community what you have for us today.
Ashe, Ashe. Indeed. The historical tribute is a really significant part of our worship service in the Wosei community of the Sacred African Way. When we look back to what our ancestors have done to contribute to our ongoing movement to be all that the Creator has given us potential to be, that has been challenged sometimes challenged, and they have had the courage, determination to do all they could in every way they could. And so we look back over the generations, over the 5 to 7, if not more, generations. And so today, I want to share with you, wait a minute. All right, I want to share with you what I have found and was really impressed with. Sister Jane Jane Bolin was the first African American woman to serve as a judge in U.S. history.
Beautiful.
Jane Bolin. Oh boy, come on now. All right. You see the portrait here of Jane Bolin on the left, and that's her also on the right at a younger age. But Jane Bolin was the first African American woman to earn a degree from the prestigious Yale Law School on her way to becoming the nation's first Black woman to serve as a judge. For 40 years, Jane Bolin presided over what is now known as the New York uh, Family Court. Jane Matilda Bolin was born April 11th, 1908 in Poughkeepsie, New York. Her father, a lawyer, Gaius Bolin, was the first Black student to attend Williams College in Williamstown, Massachusetts. Her mother, Matilda Ingram Emery, was a British Caucasian white woman. Her mother became ill when Bolin was young and died when she was only 8 years old. And as a single parent, her father devoted a great deal of time and energy to his child while simultaneously running his own small law practice in Poughkeepsie. A bright student, Jane Bolin graduated from Poughkeepsie High School at the age of 15. As a child, she was known as to be an excellent student, but still endured racism despite her parents' privileged background. During her school years, she learned about lynching and widespread racism across the Deep South. Things worsened for her personally as she moved on to attend Wellesley College, a private women's liberal arts college in Wellesley, Massachusetts. She was just one of 2 Black students at the time, and the experience was isolating, to say the least. Bolin admired her father's work and wanted to follow his footsteps. An advisor at the Wellesley College warned her away from pursuing a law degree from Yale Law School due to her race and gender. Her lawyer father also discouraged her from becoming a lawyer because he felt like lawyers always have to deal with the grossest kind of human behavior. But it was in her father's office with rows upon rows of law books that Bolin, an avid reader and excellent student, first thought of becoming a lawyer. So fearing her father's disapproval, Jane, she did not tell him about her plans until she had already been interviewed and was accepted by the Yale Law School. So in those circumstances, with her father's reluctant blessing, she entered Yale Law School. At Yale, some of Bolin's Southern classmates enjoyed letting doors swing shut in her face, but it wasn't enough to stop her from chasing what she wanted. She persevered, and in 1931, despite the racist and sexist barriers, at just 23 years of age, she became the first Black woman to earn a law degree at Yale. The following year, she aced the bar exam. It was a remarkable feat for anyone, especially a woman of color in the 1930s, but Bolin's struggles had only just begun. She began working as an attorney at her father's practice. That's her sitting with her father there in this photograph, in this picture. And in 1933, she was married to a fellow attorney, Ralph Mazzilli, and the couple moved to New York City. After arriving in New York, Jane Bolin ran for a New York State Assembly seat. She was unsuccessful in that endeavor, but she found employment working in the Assistant Corporation Council in New York City, which provided legal advice and representation to corporations or government agencies, including directives relative to discrimination issues. She was the first African-American woman to reach that position. From the years of 1933 through 1937, she also worked as a private practice lawyer until the mayor of New York offered her a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That was on July 22nd, 1939, when her life would change forever. On that day, when she was 31 years old, she received a strange phone call from Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia, who wanted her to come and meet him at the World's Fair. She said, I was very apprehensive. She was thinking that she would be reprimanded for something. She said, I couldn't think of anything I had done. So anyway, she went to the World's Fair with her husband. And when the mayor arrived, he spoke briefly with Boland's husband for a moment. And then he turned to her saying, I'm going to make you a judge. Raise your right hand.
All right now.
And so she did. She said, I was in a state of shock. I did what he told me. I raised my right hand. And with that, James Boland became the first Black woman judge in U.S. history.
Wow.
At first, her father wasn't pleased. He said, judges have so much tension in their lives, they die early of heart attacks. He warned her. But that didn't deter her, nor was she cowed by the worldwide news coverage about her appointment. Instead, she got to work. She was assigned to the Domestic Relations Court, which in 1962 became known as the Family Court of the state of New York. Her position gave her a front row seat to virtually every aspect of legal trouble that could engage a New York family, from battered spouses and neglected children to paternity suits. And increasingly over her 40-year period, her 40-year career, had to deal with homicides committed by juveniles. Now, we can probably relate to that here and now. While in power, Boland never forgot where she came from or the discrimination that she experienced. She worked to tear down segregation laws. As a justice, Boland was determined to bring about changes to the way things were handled in the New York legal bureaucracy with regard to race and ethnicity. One change was the assignment of probation officers to cases without racial or religious bias. She said, when I came in, the 1 or 2 Black probation officers handled only Black families. She said, I had that changed. A second change was ensuring private child care agencies that received public funding would accept children regardless of ethnic background. She noted that they put a big N or PR on the front of every petition to indicate if the family was Black or Puerto Rican. Boland had that changed as well. So for 20 years, Jane Boland was the only Black woman judge in the United States. She said this, everyone else made a big fuss about it, but I didn't think about it, and I still don't. She said about being the first Black woman judge. She said, I wasn't concerned about first, second, or last. My work was my primary concern.
Yes.
So Boland was well aware of the struggles that her contemporaries faced. In 1958, she said of working women, we have to fight every inch of the way in the face of sometimes insufferable humiliations. She had done so in her life, and she encouraged others to take up that same mantle. She spent 40 years on the bench and received appointments from 4 different mayors. When she finally stepped down in 1978 because of mandatory age requirements, she was over the age of 70, she quipped, she joked, they're kicking me out. And as this photograph is showing now, that she didn't wear the judicial robe. She wanted children who had to come into her court to feel comfortable. So she dressed in a way that she thought was uh, fitting for that. After her retirement, she worked as a reading instructor in New York public schools and served on the New York State Board of Regents. She was also a member in the NAACP as well as the National Urban League. She was constantly facing the challenges associated with being both a woman and an African American in an American legal system dominated by white males. She was able to overcome the stigmatization and discrimination she received through all of her amazing achievements, such as graduating from Yale and becoming the first African American female judge. She also had to raise her son following the death of her husband in 1943, all the while trying to further her career as a public official in the legal system. So Jane Bolin and her first husband, Ralph Mizeli, they had one son, York Mizeli. After the death of her husband in 1943, she later married Reverend Walter Offutt Jr., a special assistant to the Commissioner for Religious Affairs of New York State Division of Human Rights. That marriage was 1950. And so, defying her father's warnings about the early death of judges, Jane Bolin passed away on January 8, 2007, at the age of 98. There's a photo here on the left of her, and on the right here is a portrait that's on display in the National Portrait Gallery. And finally, the quote from her: "Those gains we have made were never graciously or generously granted. We had to fight every inch of the way in the face of sometimes insufferable humiliation." So we give thanks and want to pay salute to Jane Bolin, to the life and spirit of this sister, this mother, this courageous woman who became the first African American woman to serve as a judge in U.S. history. May her spirit live in our hearts and minds and inspire us to do all we can every day we can, because we know, continuously we know, that the things we achieve and accomplish are not graciously nor generously granted, handed out. We have to fight every inch of the way. For the liberation for Jane Matilda Bolin. Ashe, 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 Ashe.
All right, I told you. Thank you, Minister Makalisi, for that wonderful historical tribute.
Sante Sana.
And I was about to say that there probably is 10 people in here that have heard of her, but I would be wrong because our own sister Keisha Evans knew of her. And Sister Keisha is with us in the audience today. Very pleased to have her.
You know what's going on with education in the U.S. of A. There's a whole lot of things that folks don't want us to know about.
So true, so true. But you know, we know with all the efforts with critical race theory and all that, trying to shut down information and knowledge, you know, they can't stop it because, you know, all you have to do is find your way to the Wolsey community. You know, we keep the information flowing.
And if everyone could stand at this point, and if you're at home, you could also stand. And you guys can see on the screen, and you could repeat with me. 1, 2, and save us, oh Holy One, at your name. Vindicate by your life.
Hear my prayer,
Mind protected.
listen to the words of my mouth. How can we repay the Holy One for the gift that
He given to us? He will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the God of our ancestors. We will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all our people. Gladly we bring our sacrifices to you. We pray your name, holy on the ground, for it is good. Now, this is the time where you guys will be the community and I'll be the leader. So, community, 1, 2, and motion. Well,
Yeah, leader.
it's different. Okay, it's leader on here on my phone. Okay, I'll be the leader. You guys be the community. Leader, Umoja, unity. We shall strive to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. We shall find and create for ourselves. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our communities together. Our brothers and sisters' problems shall be our problems to solve together. Economics. Nia, purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community and the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness. Creativity. And to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than the way we inherited it. And last, Imani, faith. We will believe with all our hearts in our God, our people, and in the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Amen and Ashe. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Iman. And thank all of you for your contributions. We thank each and every one that gave. And I will take a moment just to have a short prayer. Holy One, divine creator, ancestor spirits, giver of all things. We thank you for our lives. We thank you for allowing us to rise this morning, to feel the sun on our face, and air in our chest, and our limbs working, and we were able to find our way here to the Wose house of Amin Ra. Holy One, we do not take these things lightly, for as we know, the violence, the wars, the hate, the senseless violence that permeates our cities, our societies, is all around us. So we thank you for the protection of our lives that we can be here today. Yes. We thank each and every one that gave what they had today. We thank those that wanted to give but were not able to give. Yeah. And it is our hope, it is our prayer that they find themselves in a place where they are able to give and to share. We go forward with the message. You are to open your hearts, open your minds to the message. And the message today will be presented by our very own lead minister, the Wose community, Minister Malley. And Minister Malley also has a bit of a surprise. So as he as he comes forward, I'm gonna step aside. And again, thank you all. Thank each and every one for giving.
Before I bring the message, I love treats. Anybody that knows me, cookies and candy and Donuts are friends of mine. And so I'm a very much a treat person.
Well,
that ain't no secret. Should be no news.
Well,
I have the privilege of, before I bring a message, that some young folks, family members of mine, are going to bring a message. So if I could invite my young people to come forward, we're going to, and let me apologize ahead of time for the folks on Zoom. We're just beginning to understand how to do the sound better. There was a button that we should have been able to access, but we didn't set up beforehand. So I know the instruments weren't being carried across Zoom, but we're going to do the best we can. Next week, though, we will have it better set up ahead of time so that you folks can enjoy yourselves like we are in the house.
Yeah.
You might have just noticed we're having a very, very good time in the house of Alvin Rock. And so we're going to continue that process. There's a mic I'm going to set up for my young folks. The grandbabies, that's their name. The grandbabies are going to share with us their gift.
I say, oh.
Oh, no echo.
You know, in this space.
I can go to this if it doesn't have pads.
Yeah, you set it up.
Let the young people lead.
And as old people get out their way.
You are the temple, you are the voice, we are the soul. You are the God, we are the people, you are the voice, you stand alone.
Yes. Yeah. Beautiful.
Spirit God, send your spirit God.
Okay. Yes.
Send your spirit God, send your spirit God.
We all feel it.
Not by might, not by power, but with the Spirit alone.
Yes.
It's very, very moving and touching for me because I've lived that story.
Okay.
I would not be standing here today if it was my power. If it was my spirit. It took a divine entity to take me from where I was to bring me here today. And what's so beautiful, what is so touching is to see the young ones tell the story. And they haven't even lived that long. But what they've already seen, what they've already experienced, see, all you parents, you grandparents, you know what I'm talking about. That they already are seeing a part of life that young folks are being challenged by. It just moves my heart so much because as a younger person, I brought praise dance to the church I was at before I came to Wozang at a time when young folks weren't really encouraged to do this. And here we got my grands, and I love every last one of y'all. You do me proud. Ain't much I could add to that. But y'all, I wish for the folks at Zoom, I promise we'll get better at it so that you can feel this and enjoy this like we are in the house. I know there's tears like my tears, but there's also small smiles of joy. And it fits right where my message is. That's how good the vine is. Already before I know what I'm going to say, the divine has a way of saying something for all of us. And I just wanted today briefly share with you about finding joy, celebrating joy.
Yeah.
See, we come from a tradition that celebrating never was a problem for us.
Come on now.
Or at least it used to not be.
Come on.
You know, folks as old as who started. Know all about the party, all about being able to enjoy oneself. Ain't we on the same page, Mama Fool? You know, oh, you thought I was, no, you too. I just said a fool's name, okay? But understand. Yeah, okay. See, there is no age barrier when it comes to celebrating. And see, many a time, and because of the way it has become with COVID and that separation, I think we've allowed ourselves to get disconnected from celebrating. I don't know about y'all, but I do remember people love to party. Okay, maybe it was just me, you know, but I understand that we come to party and we party hardy, but I probably the only one that knew something about that. Understand? And, oh, okay. Please, somebody tell on themselves too. Oh, all right now. Because see, the thing is, yes, that's right, Calabasi. Yeah, see, I'll name names. I might have not been at your party, but I know you was at somebody's party, right, Sister Mama Aziza? Oh yeah, come on now. Even Africans party. You know, so the thing is that somehow we allow the toils and the challenges and those things that are real overtake what always should be present with folks like us. See, the pure joy is what young people still got. They was a little nervous. They wasn't sure, but they still got out there and you could feel their joy. Yeah. You could feel how good it felt to express themselves. And see, we got to nurture that. Yeah. We got to encourage that. Just like some of us got our first touch and taste of entertainment at our houses. I grew up with James Brown. And they used to encourage me, do the James Brown, little man. See, some of y'all didn't know that. But yeah, I come from a line of skaters.
Now we know.
Doing the camp. Oh, y'all don't hurt. I know that's a little beyond y'all. But understand, if not for that, if not for that, come on now. See, we used to do that in settings in the house parties. Wasn't just movie. Understand? We used to do those things, enjoy those things, because celebration for folks like us was real important. And I don't want us to lose that. One of the things that I want to encourage, Mama Keisha, one of the things I want to encourage is us return back to turning services in the sanctuary as celebrations. Yes, we should be serious. Yes, we got some important things to talk about. That's why we have a historical tribute. It's also supposed to be about the celebration. It's about to be that we have more things to celebrate than those things to be miserable about. And there is an actual divine precept about that. There's a call out. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to read it to you. Yeah, y'all think I'm making this up. Page 82 of the Hosea. For you younger folks, the Hosea for folks of the African way is like our Bible. And what you're going to find out if you come to like Desmond's study group and other places within our community, how similar, how familiar the information we're sharing out of what we call the Hosea. That's just like the Bible, except the Hosea is older. Our observation predates. I would even be bold enough to say they borrowed a few things from us, like they always do. Oh, okay, that's another sermon. I won't do that message today. But understand, it's not an accident. It's not a coincidence. We got information that is as old as the pyramids. And that information is about us. Because we, as a people, were there.
Come on now.
First.
We were the first.
Okay. Page 82. And I'm going to give credit to where I got this information from, because it's taken from the book of Psalms. And during the Kemper ministers meeting, one of the ministers, Minister Imhotep, mentioned this part to us. And I want to take you to paragraph 3. And if you don't have the book, that's one of the purchases you might want. We have page 82, I'm sorry, 83. Okay, paragraph 3 in the first stanza. And it starts with fulfill, the word fulfill. Everybody so with me? All right. No? Okay, I'll wait for it. Page 83 at the top, and it's going to be in the middle of the page. Thank you. That's my dog. Stay on it. And it starts with the words fulfill. It says, fulfill your needs on earth according to the commands of your heart, till the day of mourning comes for you. For the God of the departed hears not the mourning and wailing, say no from the grave. Celebrate then the days of rejoicing, and do not tire of them. For lo, none may take their goods with them, and none who depart ever come back again. Yeah. See, we are given a divine charge. Celebrate. And we are the ones that should recognize we got a whole lot of things to celebrate. Yeah. There are some things you can feel a little sad about. There's some things that may hurt our feelings and be sad. It's small compared to the things we can have joy about. Now, I know. See, my family's no stranger trauma, tragedy.
Yeah.
So I'm not coming from a high place.
Right.
I'm coming from a first place. First hand, our family knows about challenge,
Yeah.
knows about tragedy. Yet we also know about triumph.
Yeah.
See, we can't allow those things that do hurt our feelings, that can make us sad, be bigger than things we have to celebrate.
Yeah.
If you're sitting in those nice little comfortable blue seats, right then and there, that tells you life ain't that bad. Oh, okay, man. I'll talk to the musicians.
All right. We hear you.
See, it can be challenging.
Yeah.
It is tough.
Yeah.
But it has not prevented you from being here today, above board.
Yeah.
See, older folks know about that.
Right.
See, a day above ground always beats a day below. And understand, as you get older, the circumstances to celebrate that should increase. Now, you young folks, y'all ain't got to figure that out yet. But as older folks, we need to show the younger folks that they got a whole lot more to look forward to.
Yeah.
See, if they see us frowning, if they see us miserable, what hope would they have for their future? Y'all don't feel me.
Yeah.
See, celebration is a moment in time that we can share. And you don't have to have a certain need.
Right.
See, you just have to have a certain attitude.
Okay.
Oh, y'all didn't feel me.
Okay.
See, all you have to do is have a certain attitude. An attitude of gratitude allows you the platitude to be able to celebrate. Oh, y'all didn't hear me. Yeah, I can show off a little bit. Yeah, understand. Gratitude allows you to have the platitude to celebrate. See, that means you're the one in charge of your joy.
Yeah.
Your joy.
Yeah.
See, it ain't got to be like my joy.
Right.
It just don't get in the way of my joy.
Uh-oh. That's right.
See, we have a whole lot to enjoy.
Yeah.
And it's not required that you pick the same thing I pick. You might like the musicians. You might like to have your neighbors sit next to you and knowing that they're smiling and you smile. It might be you think of something cool that you just experienced before you got here, or you're looking forward to on your way home.
Yeah.
The issue isn't what you select, it's to select. Find the joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your choice. And I'm not going to let your choice interfere with my choice to celebrate, to enjoy life.
Yeah.
Because I know life and life terms, it's not a given.
Yeah.
And I know a whole lot of folks who ain't here that I thought would be here. And see, that sadness won't eliminate my joy. Because, see, I appreciate being here. I hope y'all do too. There are three pieces I want to share with y'all. There is joy versus sadness. There's the negative versus the positive. And there's fear versus courage.
Talk about it.
The negative versus the positive, we've already talked about. They always say, well, there's some people say, no news travels as good as bad.
Right.
And unfortunately, even for us African folks, it's still true. We will share bad news real quick. It's called gossip in some circles. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to say it. Because there's a reason, I don't know why, but there seems to be a reason people love to share bad news. Can't wait to come home and get on that telephone, okay, cell phone, and go tell somebody else the bad news that you just picked up. And they have a smile on their face while they're, okay, it wasn't y'all. There's some other people I've heard that sit around, and that's what they do. That's what they do. Negative versus the positive. And that is a attitude thing. It's what are you choosing to focus on? See, me, I've had plenty of bad news. I've had plenty of opportunities, which I don't want to repeat my business. Stuff I've done. I don't know what you've done. I ain't going to say. No, see, the study I ain't going to tell. I might tell on study, but I'm not going to tell about your news. And what I best do is tell the good news about what it is to be where I am today. That's good news. And I bet all of y'all got it too. And that's what we need to share so we can celebrate and have joy. Y'all with me yet? And then there's the alternative, joy versus sadness. Now, there will be times in life where there'll be some sadness. Welcome to real life.
That's it.
There are homegoings, there are losses, all of that. And there's a momentary peace that, yes, it's appropriate to be sad, but it's also not permanent.
Right.
Y'all don't hear me?
Hallelujah.
Come on now. It's not permanent because the next day is another opportunity for you to have joy.
Yeah.
Even with someone being gone that you love.
Right.
The next day is an opportunity for you to be better and to feel better and to do better and to hear better. Yeah, come on now. And I don't say this from a book. I don't say this from long distance. I say it from personal living.
Right.
Y'all don't know.
Right.
One day I might write that book. But understand, I know about the sadness.
Right.
And I also know about the goodness that outweighs the sadness.
Yeah.
And then there's the big fear versus courage.
Mm.
It takes courage to focus on the positive. Because there's so much temptation not to. You got folks, they want to advise you about the negative. They want to come and they said misery loves company. Well, yes, they come to your house at many a times uninvited and just want to tell you something. Like you just can't wait to hear the bad news. Well, I was also told negative or the devil never comes without an invitation. Oh. See, that means you're responsible for what comes to you and what you do about it. See, I can't control what you got to say, but I can control where you say it at.
Yeah.
What I listen to, what I'm willing to hear and what I ain't willing to hear. And as much as it may be juicy, that's the right word. As much as it may be inviting, you can choose not to hear it, not to be a part of it, not to be entertained by it.
Come on.
See, I don't have to share in your misery.
Right.
And personally, I would prefer no misery.
Right.
I'm sure I'll be able to pick up some of my own. Really, I don't need y'all to volunteer none for me. Now, that's just me. I don't know, maybe y'all is different. Last piece. Fear. False evidence appearing real.
Come on, break it down.
Fear. See, false evidence appearing real. There is a part in the principles of our 42 negative confessions or declarations of faith that says to be able to distinguish between the real and the unreal. See, people present things in a fearful way to make them seem real. Now, they might be real to that other person, but it don't have to be real for you.
All right now.
Because they're not describing your life. They're really what we call a projection. They got their life and they want that to become your life. See, I choose different. I got plenty of things to make mistakes about.
Thank you.
My daughters will line up and tell you. Okay? I got plenty of things to make mistakes. I got plenty of things They were just scolding me online, Mama and Gilman, about my mistakes around technology. Understand? It comes. It happens.
Yeah, yeah.
And see, I'll accept that
Right.
as opposed to people volunteering me for some information I can do better without. Yeah, see, I can do something with somebody trying to correct me with technology. I can't do nothing about that other mess.
Right.
And it truly is mess. Now, what your choice is to be able to decipher what's acceptable and what's not. You can't lean on somebody else to figure it out for you. That's your adult, mature decision.
Right.
That's how you determine what are children and what are not. See, children have yet devised a way to sort that out. That's why we're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
They need us to help them sort that out. But we shouldn't be the source of the mess either.
Right.
There's a principle. There's a principle in the Maat principles that is called harmony.
Yeah.
See, we have to find more ways to be harmonious, to get along.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come from me being right, me being righteous, me being the one. It comes from us understanding and accepting that even if you don't think like me,
Yeah.
speak like me, believe like me, we can still be in the same room and find a way to get along.
Come on now.
Oh,
All right. Yeah, come on now.
See, harmony is a two-sided thing.
Yeah.
It's called reciprocity.
Yeah.
I give, you give.
Yeah.
I receive, you receive.
Yeah.
And you see how beautiful that can feel?
Yeah.
It is so much more inviting.
Yeah.
So much more enjoyable. You can celebrate the fact that me and this woman here in front of me don't have to agree on everything.
Right.
I bet you we can sit in the same room
Come on now.
and enjoy each other.
Right.
She handles the business, y'all, in case you didn't know.
Right.
On the right here.
Yeah.
See, she takes care of the stuff that a lot of folks would find this a bit of a headache. But she makes it look smooth.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
See, I want to celebrate that and
Yeah.
enjoy
Thank you.
that.
Thank you.
We all have some gifts.
Yeah.
And we have to find that piece of harmony that allows us to accept what each of us bring to the table. You hear that?
Yeah.
We can accept and don't have to agree, but we can accept and agree that it's okay to be different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got one more piece, y'all. Got one more. And it ain't like, preachers tell you, one more and they got a few more. I got one more. The harmony that we can enjoy is self-created. God has given each of us a divine request that when we come in to each other's space, that we find more ways to enjoy that time.
Yeah.
See, we can go home and be miserable all by ourselves. You can have a misery party all you want. When we come together, let's find more reasons to celebrate.
Yeah.
More reasons to have joy.
Yeah.
More reasons to get along. More reasons that I don't have to sit there and figure out who I want to make my ugly face with. See, we don't have to be caught up in those things.
Thank you.
And it's your choice. I ain't your excuse. And you ain't going to be an excuse for me. Y'all hear me? Y'all feel me? Y'all embrace me? So let's give another thanks to these young folks, my grandbabies. And kick out. I want to thank our musicians, Brother David and AJ. We've listened for a long time. We welcome them back. They play with the joy we need to feel. And also, you all should appreciate your own presence. You could have been somewhere else. You might not have as much fun. You might not have got the CD blasted out. But understand, you could enjoy this experience. Understand? And that you want to share that experience. See, your smiles on your face says a whole lot more than all the advertisements in the post. When you speak to somebody and they look at you, they're going to go, where was you at? I was at Wosay Sunday morning and had a good time. See, I ain't got to put nothing on for that.
Right.
You just got to speak the truth as you felt it. Also, we are encouraging increased expenses with having in services in the sanctuary. So, folks, please help us meet that real life challenge that is real cost. The final thing, I got something. Yeah, I did kind of one more thing. One more thing. On page 283, there's a book that, see now, we have what's called sacred text. And that's the Usia. We have something else that is also, to me, like a sacred text. And it's simply called Maat, the book. And that book has something, it's called the first. And I want to end that with this. First, know, love, and respect oneself. Then another, love self first. See, the way it is real is if you're real about yourself. You can't fake the funk with yourself. If you could be genuinely happy that you're here, that you enjoy this, that you love yourself enough to have that joy, regardless of what else is going on, mishaps with the sound, people making mistakes, folks walking in front of the camera, all through it. I love myself. I love what I bring to the table. And when you can genuinely do that, you know joy. You know joy. You know joy.
Come on.
Somebody be there with me.
Yeah.
See, come on now. I know that joy. Do you know that joy? Can you speak that joy? See, I don't know about y'all on Zoom, but the folks in the house want that joy. They experience that joy. Amen. Amen. I say. There might be some people in the house, might be some folks on Zoom that as a result of hearing some things that not always are easy to hear, can be challenging, but they also are encouraging. And that might make you really genuinely want to seek out more of that. So we are giving the opportunity for those folks who have yet to become members. This is an opportunity for you to become a member. You don't have to raise your hand today, but you're not guaranteed tomorrow. So maybe there's someone in the house or someone on Zoom who may want to become in fellowship with this community. Ashe? Online, you know, little golden hands up. Alrighty then. So we have a tradition, and I'm going to invite Mama Kanke and Mama Connie to help us with that tradition. I know it's shocking, but y'all, we end our services always with our theme, our national anthem. So if the rest of the folks can stand, and Mama Kanke and Mama Connie can help sing, and y'all join in as you can. You know, I'm pretty good with the first verse. Which is what we're going to do. And then afterwards, we have a karama where we will have enjoy some refreshments. Ashe? Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. And then also, yes, please.
Quick announcement. Women of Will Say, while we have a meeting this Wednesday, it's after Black Knowledge Matters. So that means it starts at 6:30. Please come, all women of Will Say. Please come.
All right. The singers shall sing. No, we're gonna do that.
Okay.
All right.
Lift every voice and sing. Let our rejoice song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought. Facing the rise.
Hey, and now for the God of our lives that we know is able, who pulls us together as one people, one faith, one love, and one God. Let all who hear this know, as we go forth, we carry the good news. There is a place where our folks can be comfortable, bring joy and happiness amongst each other.
Yes.
Ashe, 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 Ashe. We are the most beautiful people on the face of the earth. Ashe.